Good evening, everybody. My name is Ben Reisinger, professor of J560, Managing Online Public Relations with the IUPUI School of Journalism and PR. This is a graduate class, and every week we come together and chat because all this class is about learning how to use new media and social media along in the business realm and the communications realm for PR, for journalism, things like that. And we talk different aspects every week. And this week, we're back. Spring break was last week. You just turned in your first web video, first of two, so I'm sure it was a learning experience for a few of you guys. And I want to talk now because, we've been here. It is March 26th, and we've been in class now a little over, 2 months. And I want to see from you guys, I want to ask, how has working with social media changed or this or that. But first, I'm going to give you a little story, and then I'm going to ask for you guys to chime in here. But really, I wanted you to know that for me, using social media opened up and I know I always preach social media, but using social media and figuring it out opened up a world of opportunities. It opened up a world of connections to me. It opened up. It's amazing what's out there. And I am a traditionalist PR guy. I graduated from college in 2001. I love the writing a press release and sending it out, and then calling and pitching, getting on the phone and talking to those guys. I just like that. I'm a people person. I got the gift of gab. So it was very hard for me, as I've told you before, to kind of make this switch. But nowadays you have to do it again. I don't care who it is, who you are, and I know I sound preachy with this. I had a student last semester say I said the same thing over and over about how you need to use social media, that you still need to use traditional media, and it is like that. And I will say that over and over because that's a big point of this class. I really see the point still for some traditional media. Working as I do right now within the healthcare system, the healthcare is a little bit behind, honestly, traditional media and things like that. They're kind of slow to move in and get things done. And we've really, where I work at Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital, been pushing the envelope a little bit. And really, I found, I think, what I believe to be one of the best mixes of using traditional public relations along with this new media. And how do we use this new media? Because they were trying to use new media before, but they weren't really using it successfully to benefit the hospital as a whole. So as we keep going, I'll say this: yes, depending on who you're targeting, who your market audience is, who your readers are, if you're a journalist, things like that, you have to think about that traditional stuff. What is their do I need to do billboards? Do I need to do some print advertising? Do I need to do some, let's say advertising in this niche magazine to someone like that? So, you never know. But again, more and more people, and then still, I read these stats about Facebook all the time, and the highest and fastest growing demographic in Facebook are females 40 to 55. And it's because these are the grandmas, and it's really 40 to 60, and things like that. And these are the people, they're kind of, they're not the early adopters. They're not your mainstream line people, but they're kind of the late people coming into the equation. And I think I've told you guys this. I even get my mom to check in now on Foursquare and Swarm. But she loves it, man. She loves getting the specials and the discounts and things. So, again, I love it for a personal standpoint, which is part of what we're doing in the class. I love it for a business standpoint, which, again, any type of business, profit, nonprofit, they're all on it now, and they have to use it. So I know for a lot of you, again, when my social media revolution really came was, you can kind of see it over my shoulder there, Do It Indie. That was from Mutt Strut like 4 years ago. I loved Mutt Strut, taking the dogs there and walking around the 500. We were a sponsor of it. But Do It Indie really threw me into the social media realm. Before that, I had Facebooked. I had tweeted a little bit, but that was really it. I hadn't done anything, and I was a late comer into the MySpace realm because, again, I was telling you guys, I thought, oh, this newfangled media stuff, how is this ever going to take the place of getting on a phone and calling somebody? So Do It Indie taught me that you use it right, you use the right platforms for the right segments or audiences that you're trying to reach, and it's an amazing, amazing tool. Not every platform is for every type of business or community project or nonprofit, this, that, You have to really look at that analytically and say, okay, what works, what's reaching the right people. And you guys are understanding that. And again, that's why I tell you guys, when you're posting, do some personal posts, but you got to do some posts about communication, social, new media, PR, whatnot. You have to get that mix in there. So, I could sit here and talk forever and things like that about why I love it and, this and that and what's working now. And I'll tell you this, just I've stopped using hashtags on Facebook in the last 2 weeks, and I've seen my organic reach jump like 20%. So if any of you guys are doing anything on a, like on a business standpoint using Facebook, I mean, I love to use hashtags, and we still need to use them for this class so I can, check your posts and things like that and get you your grade. But, yeah, it's just the way it is. Facebook a year and a half ago was so hype on the hashtags, and now, it just things change. So, that's part of the social realm. But I want to start with somebody, again, now it's so second nature to me. Every day, I'm checking my Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm, every 3 or 4 days I Instagram and stuff like that, or check my LinkedIn, I mean, you name it, and I do check in on Swarm. I'm a big Foursquare person, and Foursquare and Swarm used to be a part of this class until this semester, and I actually just took it away because that platform is kind of, shooting itself in the foot, and they split from one app at Foursquare to 2 apps. Now they have Foursquare, and now they have Swarm, and it's really confusing to people, and it's not the best thing to do. So for one of you guys that, this class has pushed you and you never posted again, kind of like you never posted as much, or the frequency, kind of like I was saying, does anybody want to give me, just kind of, how has it been for you? Was it hard? Is it getting easier? Are you finding it easier to think, oh, this is what I can talk about and stuff like that? Anybody want to, talk about their experience so far? Yeah, Johanna. All right, there you go. Lucky number 1. Thank you.
It takes a lot more time, but it's gotten easier since I've started doing it this semester. Cool. And I had never really been on Twitter or Instagram before. Mainly Facebook and Pinterest were my 2.
Right.
But I'm really finding I'm loving Instagram, and I think about what to put on Twitter and what to do for Instagram now, so I really like it.
That's cool. What do you like about Instagram? What is appealing to you?
Well, I like the pictures. I mean, I like being able to take a picture and just put it on there without really a lot of explanation, and I also just like looking at everybody else's pictures. They're beautiful.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff on Instagram. I mean, if you guys have never searched hashtags on Instagram, search a hashtag of something that you love, and just see what's out there. Okay, who's next? Somebody give me your next. How's it going? You raise your hand, Jonathan. It's you, buddy.
Okay, I only use Facebook part of this class, and so this class has forced me to use Twitter, utilize Twitter, and I'm sorry about my dogs, but I'm learning from watching you, Ben, Thomas, Ryan, and I'm understanding now that the different facets of public relations on the social media sphere, how combined, collectively, how they'll help push a message, and it's really, I've opened my eyes, especially to Twitter and how hashtags works and connecting, networking, and especially with LinkedIn. I'm telling you, Ben, I'm not trying to suck up here. I'm very appreciative.
It's good. It's good anecdotes.
It's very cool. So I'm thankful. It's nice. So
yeah. What's your favorite then? Johanna she liked Instagram. What do you think? What's one of your favorite platforms?
I've really grown to Twitter. I hated it at first because I didn't really understand it. I just saw, as people, marketing, whatnot. But now I'm seeing just it's crazy. I'll wake up and I've got 3 new people following me. I'm like, well, what did I say specifically that you're following me? So and I get excited when you or somebody retweets one of my tweets. I'm like, You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, score. I'm like, I just won today. I won the internet. But I like LinkedIn and Twitter.
Cool.
You know, so.
All right, right on. Who's next? Who wants to tell us about your experience next?
Can you guys hear me on here?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're good,
good.
Thomas. Go for it.
When I logged in, it told me my microphone wasn't working after I'd already fixed the camera, and I'm like, great. I don't know. To be honest, I feel like I kind of stepped out of my realm of the sites that I'm used to. I really didn't spend a whole lot of time on LinkedIn. Facebook is one of those things I honestly try to avoid because of family and people I don't necessarily share opinions with. But I'm beginning to see where I can use Facebook as more of a marketing tool. But I think when all of this is said and done, at the end of the day, Twitter is still my favorite platform.
No kidding. Why? Why Twitter? Okay, so tell me your favorite and why is it your favorite?
I think it's easier to find what I like. I think it's easier to be heard, and I think it's more of a challenge to get out there basically what you want to say in as few short of characters as possible.
Sure.
So it kind of cuts out the fluff and things like that too, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you don't have crazy, oh, hi, I'm going to the store. Oh, hi, I have a headache. Oh, hi, I don't feel good. I mean, it's Facebook oversharing and this and that because, I mean, with Twitter, you're expected to see things like that. So, yeah, absolutely good.
Right.
Cool. All right, who's next, man? Ryan? Marcus?
I'll go.
Well, I gotta agree with Thomas and Jonathan.
On?
Twitter's grown on me.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, like I've said before, when I first started using social media, the big thing for me was MySpace. And then when Facebook came around, that kind of replaced that. And I'd never really had a chance to get into Twitter before this class. And I think that I'm starting to see the value of it. And I believe that, especially with like the new logarithms of everything, it seems like you can reach your audience a little bit better with Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Twitter's been going through some good growing pains lately, where I think Facebook has been going through some bad growing pains lately. I agree with that. So is your favorite Twitter then?
For the moment.
For the moment, okay.
Unless Facebook changes what they're doing.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, Marcus, what do you think, buddy?
All right, me personally, I've kind of Twitter before this was my favorite by far, and it still is my favorite just for personal enjoyment and staying in the loop with things. But I actually kind of, as of recently before this class, I kind of strayed away from Facebook, and in the past year, I've probably only had maybe a few posts on Facebook, but this class has kind of re-energized Facebook to me and made me see the value of Facebook. It does a good job of connecting with like my parents' generation, so the generation ahead of me. So I guess that's people between, I guess you could say 40, around that age, 40, 50, that demographic. That
40 and above, Facebook is number one.
Yeah, and they're very interactive on that. I can like really literally post an article on Facebook within seconds. I've got a few comments on each of the articles. That's pretty cool. Whereas Twitter, a lot of people like just kind of retweet it or maybe favorite it rather than actually interact and weigh their inputs and everything. So it's kind of been refreshing to kind of get back in the loop of Facebook.
No, that's cool, and you're seeing it. Then I'm glad you said a good point. Interactions are different on every platform, and you never really know how or what or who or this type of post or this type of post is going to get a reaction. So I mean, yeah, that's a really cool point. All right, Colleen, what do you think?
Before this class, I had profiles on everything, but the only one that I was really active and actually posting on was Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because when we first started out, I thought, Facebook, that'll be easy. I'd post there 3 to 5 times a week anyway, but I've actually found myself having to double check and make sure that I am actually posting on there. I think I've kind of wandered over to Twitter a little bit as being my more regular posting source. just like everybody else has said, it's kind of fun seeing people start to follow you and retweet what you're tweeting and favoriting things. And like, I think I've seen a little bit more interaction on Twitter even than Facebook.
That's cool. No, that's good. That's good. So, what's your fave then?
I probably Twitter or Instagram.
Okay.
I like Joanna said, I like kind of scrolling through and just seeing everybody's pictures. It's a little bit more mindless. With Twitter, I feel like I have to keep up with it. I'm a perfectionist, and I feel like if I don't like look at everything or at least skim by everything, it bothers me.
No, I get that. I get that. That's a good point. So, okay, thanks everybody. So, one thing with Twitter, use the Twitter list. Has everybody been to my Twitter account now and subscribed to the J560 list? So that's cool. And then, you know, you can bring it up in your app. You can bring it up, you know, on your desktop. And you can look just at that list, you know, of people and stuff like that. So that's a really cool thing to do. And if you haven't done that, please do that. So it's 6:20 right now. What time? Yeah, 6:20. So I want to talk to you guys before we started and before like 2 or 3 of you were on here. We were talking about what's going on in Indiana right now. This whole religious freedom bill, this whole Religious Freedom Act thing, okay? And I want to talk to you guys because I want to know your opinion, all right? I didn't say this before, but this is why I kind of brought this up. Today, Governor Mike Pence went on to the radio on WIBC and said that the media had been taking what the actual bill is supposed to be about and taking it out of context, making it worse than what it really truly is, okay? So he said that, and that's not helping his cause. But as all of you that have been on social media, I would be shocked. I would think that all of you here have seen posts through your streams, if not on Twitter, on Facebook, something like that, because, you know, all of you guys are in Indiana, you know, and stuff. And it's a huge hot button topic right now. So does anybody, you know, here's my opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion. Yes, I think the media, I mean, it's what the media is. And that's why I have such a, you know, I love the media. I've been a part of the media in several different ways, but the media reports on everything, okay? And they're going to give it their point of view if you agree with it or don't agree with it. You know, I mean, I hate to tell you this, every television, radio, print outlet in the city of Indianapolis, yes, they all lean towards more left or right, you know, and things like that. So, I think the media has done a good job of reporting on what it is because, yes, there is that thing that could happen where if somebody would come in, oh, I don't like you, you get out of here. Oh, you know, you're a Jewish guy, I don't like you, get out of here. Oh, you're a Muslim, get out of here. Oh, you're gay, get out of here. You know, I mean, come on, people. It is 2015. And it is kind of sad because of the national people that have spoke up and organizations against this. So I've tried to do, you know, my minor in college, my undergraduate, was in political science, and I really kind of just dig politics a little bit. I love House of Cards. If you haven't watched that on Netflix, go for it. Kevin Spacey is awesome in that. Okay, there's my ADD moment for this class. But social media has been the way that the media have run this whole SB 101. You know, through to everybody. Yes, it's been in all of the types of traditional media, but I mean, the banter that I've seen alone from people just on this is just unreal. And people are saying, you know, read the bill, and people are saying, you know, you're not educated on it, and this and that. So yes, I think social media has completely helped move it along. I think for the good, because I think something like this, yes, it does need to be. You do need to be educated if something is this impactful in your state as an adult. And you do care about your state, which I hope, you know, all of you guys do. And, you know, number two, oh man, it's just opened up such a can of worms for everyone, for the governor, for the people of Indiana, for the groups that are calling out and this and that, and they've all used social media. So who wants to go with this here after me? I mean, you know, how do you think, has social media been good or bad, and how do you think the media has been in this hot button issue? And I'll tell you this, just because you guys are grad students is the only reason I'm doing this. I would never even go anywhere near this with an undergraduate class because it would just get crazy. You guys are a little bit older, a little bit more mature, things like that, and so that's why I'm talking. Who wants to go for it? All right, do it, Thomas. What's up, buddy?
All right. Definitely agree with what you said about kind of, for the sake of one's reputation. I've definitely been biting my tongue about a lot the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as how social media ties into this, looking at it from, a scholastic point of view,
Mm-hmm.
uh, to me, social media is the greatest way to gauge how successful the media is. When you talk about things like the agenda setting theory and the framing theory,
Oh yeah.
more particularly well, when you talk about agenda setting, for example, that's how the media
Yes.
can list the salience of an issue. So, a few of the stories I'm reading now about the SB 101 is that the reason it was made a law is because nobody paid attention to it soon enough. Those types of accusations and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also look at the framing theory and use social media as a gauge for that to see how successful the media might be in
Like
framing
the
things.
pro and the con against it,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Yeah, or
Like,
the Republican versus the Democrat side of it, or
mm-hmm.
something. Yeah.
Right.
I love
So,
that,
for
man. I love
instance,
that you brought theory into this. It's good stuff.
how basically how the media is, being accused of being one-sided, if you will, on this, but then social media reacting the way that the media is also presenting itself right now. I think it's kind of evident based on what happens in social media that the framing theory does exist and that it does indeed work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anybody else have a comment on this?
I think
Or Johanna, you go. Ladies first.
That's right.
one of the drawbacks when it comes to social media is not all the subtleties of the bill are being discussed, and you get people that are just,
Okay.
I mean, it's fine to throw in your opinion and all that, but at a newspaper, typically you will have an opinion editor that would filter out some of the wild letters to the editor, but in social media, you don't always have that. So, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing about social media, I'm just saying that
It's one of the things. It's just it happens because of social media. It's just part of the course, right?
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think social media has moved along the discussion, definitely.
Sure. George Takei, man, I can't believe he did a 15-second web video shaming Indiana and Governor Pence. Ugh. If you guys haven't watched George Takei's video, you should. It's very interesting. All right, Jonathan.
I think from I've talked to Thomas in depth about this, and I try to come from an objective standpoint. I haven't read the bill. I see the pros to it, but from a case analysis, the Governor Pence and the GOP within the state have lost the information where they have done a bad job, effectively communicating what the bill is about, and because they thought they could just pass it and it would be fine. Well, guess what? They lost, and I was hoping Governor Pence would do the right thing, because there's no way to position yourself as far as a rebranding, or there's no way to bounce back from this. This is, I want to say this is just, I haven't done the analysis, but 85% probably are against it. I mean, and when you've got Miley Cyrus and George Takei coming out, and it's I mean, we're talking like this is a crisis almost from a PR standpoint.
Oh, it is a crisis. It is absolutely a crisis for Governor Pence right now.
And I don't know who his PR advisor is, but it's a very bad job, and this would be something that we could probably analyze in further classes. So.
Oh, sure. Once this is all said and done, it would be an amazing case study.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he was in Congress, I interviewed him probably a dozen times, and he was very well handled. And so I don't know what's happened since he's been governor, but he is not handled the same. His PR is really poor compared to when he was in Congress. And even when he had taken some negative positions in Congress, it still didn't really affect people the way his bills his actions as governor have.
Interesting take. Anybody else have a viewpoint they'd like to share? Go ahead. Anybody? Oh, I thought you were raising your hand again, Jonathan. Nobody? Okay, you guys, all right, cool. Well, so, what can we take from this? We can take from this that, and I thought it was a great example of something that really hits home with you guys, that, this is social media, and this is the power that it can have, for good or bad, depending on, what it is that you're actually, working with. Ooh, there went R2. Sorry, that's my wife. I got the cool buzzes. I like the good buzzes. I got Chewbacca the Wookiee too. But social media, I mean, it can make or break you, and just boom, just like that. I mean, you never know what's going to go viral. You never know what's going to hit. And I mean, this was a big inevitable thing, and it is kind of stinky for the state of Indiana. I mean, it is kind of, the governor had a closed signing session, but then he has all these people with him, nuns and a couple Jewish guys and a couple Amish guys were with him and stuff. So he has all these different denominations of religions with him, and he's signing the bill. They're standing behind him and stuff like that. I honestly thought it was photoshopped a little bit at first, and I saw somebody else said that too. They thought it was they thought somebody was the picture was him, and somebody had photoshopped the people in it too. And the other bad thing about it, they're all white dudes, no ethnic dudes whatsoever, and only one woman were behind the governor as he signed this bill. So I was like, man, if you're trying to show that you're loving everybody, you're not doing a very good job of it with that, But we will see how this continues to play out with the media. I mean, it's a wild thing, and I'm glad to hear what your guys' opinions. I mean, it again, personally, I don't really agree with the bill. I love everybody, and I hope that it doesn't come to a head and somebody does, say, oh, no, you can't do that. But it's almost like the thing of, there was the gay couple in Indianapolis that went to the cake bakery, and then the bakery refused to bake them their cake. I don't know if did you guys hear about that? That happened like 6 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. And that is what's, hopefully does not happen out of this, but that's what everybody's scared of, so we'll see. But, hey, it's 6:31. I just, it was great to hear from all of you how, you're using social media and how it's a little bit different. Again, that's always my goal, man. It just makes me happy when I hear from you guys that, hey, it's getting easier, posting is becoming more natural and things like that, because I'm telling you, for what every single one of you guys are doing, it will help benefit you. I sent out book review grades. You can see that. I will have out here probably, if not tomorrow, probably sometime this weekend, your web video reviews, and I give each of you some comments on your videos and things like that. I just sent out the list of the videos, on course. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out and see what your classmates are doing, and give them some feedback. Let them know what you think of it and stuff, because you all have to do that for your final again. And yes, I do grade the final web video much harder than I do grade the midterm video, because I hope that you guys learn a little bit from it. So that's it. Thank you guys very much, and I will talk with you again next week.